Hello.
Hey everybody. There's only two of us today at the speakeasy, but that's okay. It's a new year. Things have been very busy since our last episode, I gotta say.
Oh yeah,
So much weird stuff has happened in my life.
we've been on big hiatus.
Yeah, it's been a while, but there was a whole thing with some of our content and pages being just destroyed.
No, yeah, the
Totally
great
just
nuking.
destroyed. But you can't really silence the truth. Mark Zuckerberg, I know where you live.
Facts coming
So
for you, asshole.
with that in mind, we're currently operating on Twitter, but I'm trying to work on a website for people to view my content, and I'm probably going to put more of an emphasis on my YouTube channel and my TikTok in the future, which is primarily going to be tied to the main topic discussion of today, which is tabletop games. But before we
No.
do that, Jack, how was your Christmas, man?
Oh, Christmas was great. I loved going back to Jersey, seeing all the friends and family. Oh, it was great, man.
Nice.
Fucking went
Nice.
to AC one of those days, got my clocks cleaned as usual, because I can't win roulette for shit. However, I made it back on blackjack only for the dealer to say, "Hey, you probably won too much now. Time for you to get nothing but losing cards." To
Oh,
which I
sir.
lost my money
Would you
again.
go to Atlantic City? You went to Atlantic City?
Yes, sir. Went to
Nice,
AC,
man.
went to
Nice.
Tropicana.
Yeah,
We
no, I'm more of a Harris guy myself, but that runs in the family. So if you want some
well, we
Harris dice, I could probably hook you up. We got some of those nice, like, cube, like, we're talking those big square, like,
uh,
sharp-edged cube red
I
Harris
was gonna
dice,
say
bro.
ones that hurt the shit out of
Yeah,
you when you roll.
man, we got some of
Fuck
those.
yeah.
Dude,
Oh, dude.
I ordered a bunch of gifts for my players for my D&D session.
Ooh,
But
nice,
one of them,
brother.
I got was this like custom set of dice,
Oh, dude, that's fucking hot.
and they are sharp. Like, dude, the D4 could like destroy a car.
Oh,
You
dude, I
put that
love
down on
that.
the ground, it'd be like a caltrop spike.
Like, you got like this nice metal dice, yeah?
Yeah, I got her some. I think it was some. They're made out of resin or a type of plastic, but they're liquid dice, so they have liquid on the inside.
Oh shit, that's
Yeah, I got them
fucking
for.
awesome.
She loves them, man.
Dude, that rules.
Yeah, I'm probably
Yeah,
gonna
because
blurt the
I
name here. No, they didn't give consent for that. So
yeah. I brought home from Jersey the I had like a set of like red and gold metal dice. It was like red enamel or some shit. Dude, they look fucking tight. I was looking for them. I realized I forgot to pack them when I first moved out here, so I collected them up, brought them back. So we're gonna do some damage with that shit again. That's gonna be
nice.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
How about you? How was your Christmas?
I worked for most of it. Me and my girl, we did celebrate Christmas with my parents though. I went to my
Oh,
dad's house with her, and then we went to my mom's, and we had a nice
that's
time.
nice.
It's nice. I don't think she's really like had like a fun family Christmas for a while, and I was glad to have her there. I think she was glad to be
Yeah,
there.
that's
Watched a
great.
lot of
That's
football. I
awesome.
was in a fantasy league, made it to the Super Bowl of the fantasy,
Ooh,
which is basically like saying I'm the only person in the fourth grade that can do a pull up.
yeah.
So I don't know. I was against my mom, and she was losing for like 5 weeks in a row. She made a nice comeback and made it into the finals. So I didn't mind losing to her. I was 11-5.
Yeah, hey, there
Did
you
not
go.
matter to me. I was doing great anyway.
Yeah, you got your wins in. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I had a nice time, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
was. I mean, you know what happened. I got hospitalized for a little while. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
This fuck showed up to my ICU unit just like Christopher from The Sopranos with his hair slicked back. And the nurse just looked at me and was like, "Is this guy gonna cause some problems?" And Jack was just like, "What kind of problems need to be solved?" And he cupped his hands together. I was
Oh,
blown
they're
away.
all
I'm like dying, and he's like, "How you doing, boss?" It's like,
yeah.
no, that's not how this is gonna go.
Well, then they all started busting my balls when I went to go ask for some
Yeah, I don't know what
coffee.
the hell was about, dude. But explain to me
Yeah.
about that. Like, I know we had that conversation, but like,
Oh,
then
dude, it's funny. So there was actually one other nurse's aide over there that was from Jersey,
okay,
and
so you had someone on your side.
yeah, he came to talk to me like after well, when I was leaving. He's like, "Hey man, what part of Jersey you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from this part." I go, "I'm from Central," and he goes like, "No, North or South." I'm like, "Oh, so you're from South Jersey if you're asking that question." He's like, "Yep, I'm right from so and so." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." Because that's a huge debate in the Jersey community whether or not Central Jersey exists.
You have so little to talk about. You are legitimately asking yourself, does Central Jersey have one, a right to exist, and two, does it actually exist?
The facts are they do exist. Now we came to a mutual agreement that it is called pork roll and
It
not
is
damn
pork
ham.
roll.
So we became unified against those North Jersey fucks who are wrong.
North Jersey's just New York, isn't it?
Exactly. North Jersey is South New York, along with all the bad shit that comes with it, and there's a lot of bad shit.
You know,
But yeah,
I really hope that Jay Cal is watching this and is just like, yeah.
yeah. So, dude, like, yeah, I went out to go get some coffee for that thing, and I'm like, hey, you guys got some coffee? And in unison, like, three of the nurses all went like, coffee. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That's how
that's
you
got to be
say it.
annoying, dude. Yeah, because you're just living your life, man. You're like, oh, it's like 11:30 at night. I don't know where I am.
Like it's all in good humor and nature, but I'm like, y'all pronounce
You're
fucking
just
coffee
mauling
wrong.
internally. It's like, wait,
Yeah.
I called it coffee. It's coffee. They're like,
It's called
coffee.
coffee. I'm like,
If it
what do
makes
you
you
guys
feel
call
better,
it?
man.
Taffy?
Yeah, it's just coffee here.
Yeah. Well, because some of the Midwestern people, they all like to go caffey, and that pisses me off. That legitimately boils my blood.
Midwesterners on suicide watch.
Facts. I'm like, look, my people brought this coffee to you. Like, we brought you espresso, we brought you cappuccino, we brought you all that shit. So don't tell me I'm saying coffee wrong.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's all
Did
good.
you end up going to Reds?
I didn't get a chance to. No, I was.
No. Next time though. Next time when Doran's up to play some Blood Bowl, we gotta all go to Reds.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, I'm down for it, man.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Oh,
No, Brian's looking to get into Blood Bowl. This is actually a great transition into our topic of discussion today about
yeah.
tabletop games. We're not doing RPGs. We're saving that for another episode.
Yep. Today's
Just know that
tabletop games like wargaming and shit like that.
we're talking about our war games. You know, your Strategos, your Saris. Nah.
Yeah. I mean, Monopoly's pretty fucking strategic if you really want to get down to it, but we're not going to be talking about that bullshit. We're going to be
I don't
talking
know.
about a real man's shit.
I think with Monopoly, it's a lot more like, hey, what is the most commonly landed on space? Okay, I will build on those. Usually it's railways and then reds and oranges.
Oh yeah, don't forget utilities.
Yeah, and utils. But yeah, so that's that. That's just the code has kind of been cracked for Monopoly, in my opinion. But
Yeah. Well, you
what the
also
code
have to
hasn't been cracked
play.
for is Blood Bowl. But
Yeah, you also have to play by everyone's like weird house rules because sometimes people are like, "Oh, if you land on free parking, you get the community money," or blah blah blah, or some whatever bullshit.
well, that's a
So
house rule. I thought that was the rule. Is that you land on free parking, you get
well,
the chest, right?
well, so that's the thing. I don't think anyone's ever read the rules to Monopoly past, I buy thing on.
Yeah. No, I like that rule. It's a fun rule. It's
I
everyone.
like it a lot.
Everybody kind of puts their hands up and goes, "Yay, free money!"
That's my personal. I don't know if it's a house rule or not, and I don't give a shit if anyone's going to fact check me, but I play with that because that shit's cool.
No. I play with that too. I thought that was like a rule of the game.
I also thought it, but I got into numerous debates with people over the years playing Monopoly, and it might even vary edition to edition. I'm not sure.
There's which Monopoly edition are you guys playing? Fourth head? Oh, not for me. Thank you. I like my dice rolling. It's too simplified, man.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, you know what's one game that I just this is shout out to my board game homies out there because I can't fathom playing a board game without being able to do some like long complex thing and have a lot of miniatures and have the table visibly there.
Fuck yeah.
But like I don't know how you guys do it. Where you're sitting there and you're like touching tiles and like keeping cards, and it's just like where I get where the fun is at, but I feel like it could be more interactive. But one game that I just can't get behind is Catan or Catan or whatever however the fuck you say it.
Oh yeah, Settlers.
I just can't get into Settlers, man. I'm gonna call it Settlers so I don't upset people.
Dude, fuck him. Catan is fun. It's a nice little introductory game for people who.
Oh yeah, no, I've played it. I mean, it's not that. It's just like
But
I get where people enjoy it, but
I appreciate it for being the first stepping stone for people into the realm of better board games.
Yeah, that is true. Speaking of the realm of better board games, you know what game I don't like?
What's that?
Descent fucking sucks.
You don't like Descent?
I think Descent could be better if it was just like you go fight this thing on this job, go fight this thing. I want the combat, which is the main part of the game, to be better. It's fine, but it's like like a board game of Diablo 4. And I say Diablo 4 because, you're not really doing a lot of damage early on. It's fine. It's not bad, Jack, like I'm saying, but I think the scenarios and the missions, I don't think there's enough variety. I think it's largely the same thing. And if you guys don't know, Descent is a dungeon crawler board game. It's really big. Great package design. Absolutely phenomenal minis. I love the terrain in there. I think it all looks great, but I think the setting and the way they made the game is just, it impedes itself.
So it's tough for me because I really like the format that it is. I've gotten pretty deep in on Descent campaigns, and there is a variation that does strike up, but you have to get quite a bit deeper in there. You have to get like past unlocking all the characters. You have to get past their little tutorial missions. The game really opens up once the story really starts ramping into it.
No, we got about 6 missions in, man.
Yeah, well, so 6 missions. I think you need to get what is it? It's like either 10 or 12 because I'm trying to remember because you need to do the initial. I think it's like the initial 3, then the introductory for the characters that aren't starting characters, and then their specific missions that lead out of them. And then once all that's done, it really opens up. So it is a slow start, but it has a lot of setup because it is very story driven. For me, the most fun I had with Descent is when, we gather all the crew up, we have a full party, and it's got like all the story shit going on and the dialogue. We love to just narrate it. We'll pass around the iPad and we'll just go around like narrating.
No, that's fun. I enjoy aspects like that. And even the missions where you have to unlock characters and you learn about like their skill trees and their techniques and everything, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But I liked those missions because it focused in on an aspect and it wasn't just like kill shit.
Yeah.
Kill shit, move on. Kill shit, move on.
There is like missions that do go above that. Like there'll be missions where it's like, okay, you have a time limit to secure this part of the objective. Oh no, the entire scenery is falling apart and lava is coming up and you have to escape the lava. Or you have to complete it in X amount of turns. Otherwise, the necromancer or witches and shit, they're going bonkers and there's spirits coming up and eating your ass. And it's like there's like some really awesome shit to it once it gets like really rolling.
Right. And we did play the lava mission, and that was something where I was like, more of this. I don't know, you played Warcry, right?
Yes.
You know how you have the twist card you pull?
Yeah.
And that can just drastically change how you play the game.
Yeah.
I love that idea in a board game, and I don't see it in a lot of games often. I get kind of why, but I think Descent could really benefit from it. Twist for this mission. Oh my god, there's even more wolves, or there's more of those ninja dudes in the smoke. What are they called?
Oh, not bandits. I know what you're talking about, though.
I think they are bandits.
So that does start happening. Once you get into it, that really starts ramping up, and once like you played all like the quote unquote foundation type missions, that's when they start throwing curveballs at you.
Right,
and it's like, yo, I wish it happened sooner.
That I was gonna say. I think if you're gonna make a good system, and this is kind of spilling into tabletop RPG territory, as I'm a writer and I'm working on my Dreadwood system right now, which I'm actually still beta testing. We're actually doing another session for that for the Blue Scar tomorrow. But I find that if players don't find the first mission fun, or like the first 3, if that doesn't lead to something more or bigger or captivate them, why play it? I think it needs to really hold your attention for that. I want people going into like playing some Descent like, oh shit, we're gonna fuck stuff up. Here we go. And
so that's fair. That's very fair.
It's kind of there, I guess, in Descent, but with you can't really compare them. But I mean, Warcry is a 3 mission campaign system. Like in total, all 3 of those missions are like a campaign.
Yeah.
So and for the starter game of Warcry, here's something. I'm going to switch over to a game much more like Descent. Blackstone Fortress, or I would like Bard Song, whichever the one Steamforged Games make. Bard Song is way too fucking long but the missions, like each mission you finish, you go into a branching like path, depending on your actions. That's really cool. And then no mission or no campaign or run you'll have will be the same.
Yeah.
And it will
Yeah, that's true.
captivate you for those 3 missions. With Blackstone Fortress, your end goal is to get into that like little secret sealed vanilla envelope. You know, I don't know what's
Have
in
you?
there.
Oh, you have.
No, don't say anything. I haven't gotten
Okay,
it yet.
I
But
won't tell
I
you.
think that's just that's so fun. And then it's like, look, you defeated Obsidius Malix, but he retreats deeper into the fortress, and now
Yeah.
you need 3 more of those tomes to enter his final dungeon. It's like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
we finished the mini quest, and now we know the overarching story. We
Dude,
need to stop this guy.
I can't wait for you to get to the point where you get to unseal that envelope. One, because I don't know if every envelope is the same. I don't know if there's the same card in there. Two, if it is all the same card, dude, when you discover this thing, it's gonna be like, yo.
Man, now I really want to crack out that box and play it. You don't have to play it alone, man. I played the Stalker game, the one-man solo game for that. I played alone. Well, alone. Alone is really fun. That's a game that's kind of slept on, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think the format could be better, though. I think it could work as more as like one person is the DM and everyone else are the survivors in the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. So
For those of you that don't know, Alone is it's one person is like the survivor of like an alien attack or some kind of like Half-Life or Alien, the movie scenario. And you're in an unabandoned space station. You got to get out of there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And the other player or other players are the DM or DMs. And they control like lighting, what mobs spawn in rooms, power source drops, things like that.
That shit's awesome.
It's really cool. And the one player has to survive this incredibly hellish dungeon and make it out of the ship alive. It's very good. I have the Kickstarter backed box here. They got the first expansion, The Deep, which is underwater, which if anything about me, is just like that's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But it's very fun. I don't know. I like those single player board games, but
they're great. To bring it back to Descent, so while I do agree a lot of games like it should be snappy right off the bat, Descent is designed to be incredibly long form, to the point that this Descent game that I've been in with this campaign with my buddies back home, this has been an ongoing campaign for 2 years? I think it's been 2 years.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's great. Every time we get together, we're like, yo, it's time for Descent! Let's go! It's
nice.
It does get to that point, because you'll get to a point where you start, there's a crafting system involved, and once you start really getting all the different, bells and whistles, you can start equipping.
I just wish the game didn't teach you with training wheels right off the rip, because, the first 10 missions feel like they're babying you.
Yes.
We finished a mission where it's like, oh, you have 10 turns to finish these 12 opponents, and it's like, that's it. We just kill all enemies. Like I'm playing Mechanicus, and that's it.
Right.
And there's 5 missions of that. And this is an issue I found with Fantasy Flight games, is that it's just we are really trying to hammer home this mechanic to the point where I think a player, any decently competent player, even if someone that let's say barely touches board games, I think they could pick it up pretty easily.
Yeah. So on that topic,
I think Fantasy Flight definitely overbabies a lot of its player base. That's why they sold all their Star Wars stuff to Atomic Mass Games.
Yeah, I was gonna say, on the topic of that, did you ever get to play Imperial Assault, which is a Star Wars dungeon crawler?
No, that sounds really cool. Do I get to be an Imperial officer or a stormtrooper, or do I have to play Rebel?
Unfortunately, you have to play non-Imperial. That's not to say you're explicitly
So can I play
Rebel.
a Mandalorian or some crime syndicate or bounty hunter or something?
Yeah, I'm sure in one of the expansions that is the case. There's a ton of expansions out there with a ton of different character archetypes. There's it's everywhere from a rebel officer, disgraced Jedi, weird
fucking
force.
Get Jedis out of the fucking setting, man.
Yeah,
I'm so sick of them, bro.
Dude,
I'm so goddamn sick of them.
Dude, whenever we play those, no one ever wants to be the Jedi. Everyone wants to be the big Wookiee man.
Jedi, and I'm looking to shut up. Give me some dude that sells drugs, and we can go across the galaxy. Crank on some space Adderall.
I think there's a guy that's kind of like that. Yeah.
Awesome. That's what's up.
Yeah, there's some cool shit, and some of like the boss fights you get in there. Because Imperial Assault was also designed to be partially a skirmish game. If you got like a lot of the little expansion packs, because they had ally packs, nemesis packs, and it comes with a whole bunch of shit where you can actually turn it into a game reminiscent of the old Star Wars miniatures game that Wizards of the Coast
Yeah,
made.
yeah, HeroClix one. I remember that. I still have
Yeah,
one.
dude, that shit was awesome. And when you do that, then it becomes full blown. Yo, I'm gonna buy all the Imperial shit or like the fringe shit. Because you can bring in allies to a mission. You can be like, okay, I'm bringing in some like Mandalorian motherfuckers to aid me on this mission, or
See,
I'm
that's
bringing
really cool. But that sentence alone, it's like, look, we hired mercenaries. That has just way more going on than like the first 20 missions in Descent.
yeah. Yeah,
But
that is true. They are based off of the same system, which is original Descent like 1.0.
yeah.
Um, and the Star Wars Imperial Assault is dope because there's some really cool, unique enemies to fight. Like there is a like weird, fucked up, like experimental ATST
Oh,
Imperial
cool.
Commander. Oh, dude, he's fucking awesome. He's got like weird missile launchers attached to the side of the ATST. I think his name's Commander Vice or something. Dude, he's badass. And there's one in like a mini hover tank that comes and fucks you up.
That's really. See, I wish this sounds way more complex than like movie Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's awesome. And
Oh
if
my
you because
god.
it's like a huge like written campaign thing where you like write down the missions you've done, what the
I'm a
results.
fan of that. I'm a fan of the pen and paper style campaigning. That's something I really like about one of my favorite skirmish games, Necromunda. Is just I
Yeah.
think Necromunda may be the king of that. I think this is going to be, I don't know, probably a lukewarm take. I think Necromunda is the best game system Games Workshop has ever made, and the best
It's up
campaign
there.
system Games Workshop has ever made.
I will agree
We
with you
got, I think,
100%.
6 hours out of one Book of Ruin mission. That's
Yeah.
one expansion that I have. I know there's like 10. I have the Book of
Oh,
Ruin that came out with the Uprising. That was like the box I bought, and then
yeah.
I bought the Ash Wastelands box. I would say exactly a year ago, Christmas 2022. It was on sale for
Yeah.
$100 because nobody
I,
bought that shit.
I think there's also like 6 or 7 different campaign type
There's
varieties.
so many of them, dude. I
Yeah.
some of my
You can
favorite ones.
do.
I really like the Book of Ruin because there are no shops.
Yeah.
When when
It's
you go into
really
the
cool.
stage to like go buy stuff from merchants and shit, all the shops are closed. Everybody's hiding. Nobody wants to come out onto the streets. So
Yeah.
you have to like scavenge for things. You have to
Yeah.
scavenge for um, resources and weapons and stuff. Maintain your territory. It's really
Oh,
cool.
it's
It
great.
and I know Necromunda did not have the best launch because it was very much like almost like a tile game when it first came out. But the amount of terrain you can reuse, the amount of miniatures you can kit bash to do it, you can
Yeah.
functionally do whatever you want with that game.
It also
And I
didn't
think it is
help
the
that it took them
best rule system.
forever to launch all the different gang boxes.
I would agree to an extent, but I mean, by the end of the year, so 2017 into 2018, they had pretty much everybody out except the Palanite Enforcers, which are not Arbites at all. Like they're not
Yeah.
even close.
Well, they
When
didn't. They weren't even like existent. I mean,
yeah,
like the
no,
original. What is it? 6 gangs.
yeah, they got the 6 gangs out within the year that it came out,
Yeah,
and then they
and
had a lot of the expansions come out, and then they had
it's
the extra books that came out, like House of Iron and stuff, all through
yeah.
2020
It took a
and
little bit too
2021.
long for the weapon packs to come out. That was a little bit of an L. And like the Vansar Arachnorigs only came out, what I think like last year, or the year prior.
Were the Arachnorids in the original game? I don't remember. I don't think they were.
Yes, yeah. Well, by original game you mean like
Necromunda 1990s, like 94. I can't
I
remember.
I think they did exist. Unfortunately, I don't think we're ever gonna get Spy Roars again.
I don't think
Um,
so. I don't know, man. You and I have different like opinions on Necromunda. For me, it's like what minis like do I have randomly sitting around that I can make into a gang?
yeah. Well, it's for like this is a complaint for getting other people into the game. A lot of people don't want to convert up their own shit. They want stuff that's like already available that they can just
Oh
like
yeah, no, and that's what I love about Necromunda is you can buy that one box of miniatures and
yeah.
functionally just play a campaign.
Yeah, which is that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine about that, about the one box, like I call it the one box dream, right?
Yeah,
Where you buy one box of miniatures for that game, and hypothetically speaking, maybe you buy the rule book, maybe.
yeah,
That's it.
and
You just buy that gang, and there's your guys. You don't need dice, you don't need terrain, you don't need more gang members.
yeah. The only exception to that rule is the what houses is the shitty little broken down guys. They don't
House
have
Cawdor.
Cawdor. Yeah, Cawdor. You need a horde, so you need at least a second box.
Right, but you could probably convert up some other guys to
Oh
do
yeah,
that. But
you
like
could
that's
easily
the
convert.
glory of Necromunda, is it's very creative. I built an entire bounty hunter gang from like my Inquisitor and a
Oh,
bunch of stuff I have for my Inquisition army.
dude, that
And then
shit's
I
so
did
awesome.
I did an entire Chaos army, a Chaos gang from just the Servants of the Abyss and Blackstone
Yeah.
Fortress.
So I really love the fact that they added in Gene Stealer cults and Chaos cults to
Yeah, that was
Necromunda.
very very tastefully done, and I'm
That
glad they
was
don't have like an
so
official kit for it, so you can just buy stuff and make it because it's very
yeah.
very cool.
I love that they came out with, like just the shitty little 4-pack of guys. That's
Dude,
just
it was
like
a 10
hive
man. It was a
scum.
10-man squad initially. You had 12 man, sorry. So it was 4 of those sprues.
Yeah, yeah,
I actually bought like one of them just to have as like NPCs for my Necromunda RPG that I house rule and
yes,
play a lot.
yeah.
And they're great. I think they look really good. The Hive Scum are cool. It's a
I love
welcome
those guys.
addition.
I wish those models are still available. Or
The 4-man, you can get the 4-man one still. It's like $20.
well, I mean, like back in the day. I wish it was available when the Imperial Guard still had access to Penal Legion.
Oh, dude,
Uh,
yeah,
it would have been perfect for that. That would have been so awesome.
definitely.
Or like just shitty conscripts. I mean, you could build a really cool Imperial cult and militia for Horus Heresy using a whole bunch of Necromunda shit, and it's
Dude, like the
awesome.
Ushmeta Kral for the word bearers, like the super
Yeah,
crazy dudes, like they'd be perfect, just like random people you find.
dude, that would exactly. And like you could make a Survivors of the Dark Age army using
Yeah,
like Van
man.
Star. Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it'd
fucking
be really goddamn
Necromunda's
cool.
goaded.
I love Necromunda for that reason. I remember when they dropped the Krieg kill team, someone was like, I'm just going to use him for Necromunda when they come out. No reason for Krieg not to be on there. And I'm like, you know what? I like
Yeah,
that
fuck it.
mindset.
Yeah,
It can be like Necromunda can be anything you want, man. And it is that good.
it's so
Very, very
awesome.
affordable game. Very, very creative. Like if you're gonna take one thing away from this video, it's play Necromunda. That is such a low barrier of entry.
Yeah,
You buy a
Necromunda is
gang, you
goaded with the
buy like the
sauce.
$10 set of tools on Amazon to build minis with if you've never done it before, and then you buy glue, and that's it. The glue you can get from anywhere.
Bing
Total, it'll
bang
cost you
boom.
like $55.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, Necromunda is absolutely goaded with the sauce. Fucking get that
What I
shit.
like about it, dude, is I get invested in like the characters and everything that because you name all the characters and give them your war gear and your loadouts and
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, dude.
I for my Palanite Enforcers, I have the 4 main characters of my Palanite Enforcers. I painted up. They have like gray pants and like pale white armor with glowing blue visors.
Yeah.
And one of them is painted with like orange stripes. One
Dude,
of them
fuck
has
yeah.
dark gray finish with yellow trim.
Man, I
One of them is
had.
green. Well, not green, but is white with like green accents. And the other
Oh,
one is
nice.
just covered in blood.
Oh, that's
If you
awesome.
can't get what those 4 guys are from, we'll work on it.
Yeah. Dude,
I don't
I
even think Jack gets
remember.
it, which I feel like you would.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I remember because I'm trying to remember. I was in a campaign a year ago, 2 years ago. I can't remember. It's been a while. The last Necromunda campaign I was in, I was doing Vansar.
Good
Um,
choice.
dude, I love Vansar. I think they're the coolest looking dudes.
I think they're
I
second best. They're definitely cool, but they don't beat the corpse grinders or
You don't think
the
that?
nomads. I like the nomads a lot, dude.
The
The nomads
Nomads
are
are really
goaded.
cool. The Nomads are really cool. But I have to go with the Vansar because they're so unique looking for the setting of Warhammer. And I love like they're like very emblematic of Necromunda period because
Yeah.
of like the spider aspect to them.
Yep.
Oh,
You know
dude.
what? When I saw a Van Sar Ganger, I was like, that doesn't look like anything from Warhammer. Where'd that guy get that miniature? I
Yeah.
was like, what is this?
Dude, they almost look like Infinity models.
Yeah, they're very. I think it's the helmet design. It's very
Yes.
Infinity looking.
I love it
If you
so
guys
much.
are like the orc armor troopers or like the military orders or like the Yujing invincible army, Vensar kind of looks a lot like their power armor.
Yeah, it's so dope. So I had a gang that was themed around like snakes or whatever. So I like named all my different champions and dudes after like
Tunnel snakes.
nah. I had one name.
Tunnel snake rule.
I can't remember if it was my champion or my gang leader. His name was Boom Slang, and he came around with a big fucking las cannon.
My
And he was,
God.
dude, he was goaded with the sauce. He was a fucking
Nice.
sniper supreme. Then I had a dude with a multi melta, and he had the talent that let him like walk with heavy weapons and still fire with no penalty.
Mm.
That guy, I don't remember his name, but he chalked up a kill tally to like rival a fucking word eater. Or
Dude,
sorry,
a
world
word
eater.
eater.
A word eater, yeah.
Did
A
you not write the
chimeric
names down
eater.
or anything, man?
I have it online on that what is it? Yak Tribes. It's like an online like gang. If you're organizing a campaign, you can use that, and everyone gets to like record their gangs on there. Um, and it really helps keep track, especially if you have a huge fucking like number of people in the campaign.
Right, right.
Um, it's really good for that. I'm trying to log into my Yak Tribe, but I cannot remember my fucking username or password. But
So
it was all shit like the deadliest snakes on the earth, and I was like,
nice.
yeah, these guys rule.
So what have you been playing a lot of recently?
Recently, the last game I played was probably Horus Heresy. Right now, I'm getting bigly, bigly into Legion Imperialis. I am chubbed up with that.
Really?
Oh, I'm so chubbed
I
up
am
on.
so surprised about that. I just don't have any interest in Legion Imperialis.
Oh, dude, if you saw the rules and all the shit for it, because it lets you play Warhammer on the scale that you see
The
in like the
novels
books.
depict. Yeah, no, I totally get that. I have no issue with it. I just think the I don't know if we really. I don't think this is the dub that Games Workshop thinks it is because all it really tells me is that they were too scared to cancel Titanicus and they're just like, oh look, now
Well,
you can take Space Marines in it. Look,
well,
everybody, isn't that what you wanted? Y'all asked for auxiliary forces.
well, Titanicus was always an amazing game,
No,
and
I know, and it was good, but like nobody played it, man.
well, it depends. It depends what like shop you went to. It was very localized to like a few different communities, but they were strong communities where it existed.
No, I agree with you. I'm
Um,
saying by and large, if you look at Games Workshop's numbers, right? You look at like Legion, like Aeronautica Imperialis. Who the fuck played that game?
Aeronautica fucking bombed, which is a shame because it's an amazing dogfight game. Um, but it bombed. It definitely bombed.
Yeah,
Titanicus was pretty successful for being a specialist game.
I think it
Um,
had a lot more like a longer shelf life than everybody thought. And I'm not mad that it's like still going. That's not what I mean, but I
no,
just think
yeah.
like
Well,
if
it's a return from Epic, which
no, and
Epic
I
was.
don't even think it's that. I because if it's like Epic, why can't I take my Wraith Titans?
So that's because they didn't want to make models for Eldar yet.
That this is what I mean is it feels like a half-ass like commitment to something. I know that
Oh,
this game is probably not going to be around. Like we'll be lucky if we get it for another 2 years. I don't think it's going in a lot of places. I think they
uh,
got their wad with like everything that was shown, unless we do get like Demons of the Ruinstorm or like AdMech stuff.
well, we just
You
got
got a
released a
campaign book,
new.
man, but like you got to
Well,
ask. It's
we
all
got a
we.
new book released today that is going to add in pure Titan armies, pure Knight armies,
I don't
some
understand this. This
new
is
detachments.
but the game is called Legion Titanic. Those rules exist already. Like they're just like, look, now you can play Titanicus again. It's like, yeah, that's what the game was.
No, no. Well, the rules are really wildly different. Like Titanicus is very in depth Titan fighting
Like
with a
BattleTech,
whole.
right?
Yes, it is. It
Okay, so
is
the rules are like 100% like just not the same.
right. Yeah, they're not even like close. There's no like location hits on Titans. There's no like all that kind of stuff. In um I'm just gonna call it epic because I'm not gonna call it
Yeah, just call it
legendary.
epic, bro. It's I think our viewers know what we're talking about.
It's really just epic. Yeah, epic is they condense the Titans down to like just a normal stat line rather than like this big chart that you need with like different markers and counters and shit on it. Um, but the inclusion of infantry and like tank columns and everything. So you said earlier that you think Necromunda is GW's best game in terms of
Yeah.
like rule writing and stuff.
You're not gonna tell me that this is their best game. It's been out for 2 months. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, hang on. If we're going by epic, like old epic was definitely up there. If we're going in terms of, in my opinion, the top games that GW ever put out, the top 5 in no particular order is Epic, Necromunda, Battlefleet Gothic, Horus Heresy 1.0, and I would probably venture to say
Kill Team, yeah. No, I totally get you.
maybe not Kill Team. I would say Mordheim, which is
I can accept Mordheim. Mordheim is good.
Mordheim,
I like Mordheim a lot, but I think Kill Team got me into like Warhammer, dude.
Yeah, no, Kill Team is fantastic.
I've been playing some Dark Eldar in Kill Team recently.
Oh, dude.
There's just an objective where it's like take a prisoner and you just take a model off the board that's been wounded. It's like that's my prisoner now, and you get a point for that.
It's really cool, and like I can't wait for the new Night Lords to come out for Kill Team.
Oh my god, dude! They're gonna be my honor guard for my Night Lords Heresy army and Kill Team at the same time.
It is goated with the sauce.
I was so happy about that because I saw Mountainside Tabletop. They played the Chaos Legionaries as like Night Lords, and I'm like, that's kind of fitting. It fits them more than like any other Legion, except for like maybe Word Bearers.
Yeah, but like this.
But now we have like I think the Night Lords. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I think it's just an upgrade sprue with the Chaos Legionaries.
You know what? Let's check.
Because I've heard it's 50-50. I've heard some people are like, no, you can't pose the legs like that. And other people have been like, yeah, that's the same torso as this guy. But you have to ask, like, how often does Games Workshop add an AutoCAD to their editor and just reuse assets? Because if you look around, it gets bad when you realize how much they reuse.
Yeah, well, because that's what happened with the Chaos Legionaries Kill Team. Is that it was an extra sprue on there?
Yeah, same with the Dark Eldar. It was an extra sprue, but I mean, I don't know. I think the Dark Eldar like upgrade was like the worst of like the upgrade sprue. If I'm gonna be real.
That's fair. I'm trying to see. I think these are all unique new models. I don't think it's an extra sprue. I think
that's good. I do like that.
Let me try and actually read what the fuck GW wrote on here. I'm not seeing anything that says that it's like the old kit with a new... Oh, no. The kit itself uses the phenomenal Chaos Space Marines as a base. And
there it is.
Extra large upgrade sprue. But
large upgrade sprue.
That makes sense because these are pretty much unrecognizable to me. From
I like that. I was talking with a couple of buddies in my Discord about the new Deathwing Knights.
Yeah,
I like the helmets, but I learned it's just an upgrade sprue for the Terminator kit.
You know, I think that's kind of fine because
as long as the upgrade sprue is large,
yes,
that's cool. But with like Deathwing Knights, I want that to be an individual kit.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want it to be like, oh, do you want Gray Fangs for Space Wolves? Okay, here's the upgrade sprue. Oh, you're playing Deathwatch Veterans. Well, you'll need an upgrade sprue for those Primaris Intercessors. Here you go.
Yeah. So
it's like, fuck you. Like, no, just let me keep the Veterans kit, or like bring back the Gray Fangs kit.
Yeah. So like that, to that point, I think the golden standard for upgrade kits should be like the old Black Templars.
You mean the new one?
No, I mean the old one. The old one was like
I like the old one too, but the shoulder pads are too small on scale.
Not for the Marines at the time. With age,
no, even I used them with my Deathwatch Veterans, and they were about that.
No, they were because I think that released in 4th edition. Those were
that is old.
Yeah, they were released in tandem with like the old Marines of that day, and they fit perfectly for that time. But the kit was so good that it came with like 2-3 sprues. It was like a vehicle upgrade sprue that gave you like emblems to put on your side doors and shit. and like swords and scrolls to like glue on there. And then it came with enough chest plates, chain swords, bolters, and other weapons to upgrade an entire 10-man squad with like completely unique stuff. That is the golden standard. Every upgrade kit should follow that.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and talk about the new Black Templars upgrade kit. I would consider myself a Primaris Black Templars player. I picked them up after they got their range refresh. My dad actually got me them for my birthday when that year happened, and it was really, really cool because my dad likes Black Templars. He was like, "Yeah, it reminds me when I went to Sunday school," because he's Roman Catholic, so he's got the robes and the prayer incense and all that shit. So he loves them. He thinks they're great. But he's like, "Yeah, I figured you'd like to paint them up," and I'm like, "Dude, yeah, absolutely."
Yeah, that's what got me into Black Templars.
I picked up I picked up the Combat Patrol as well.
Yes.
And so I picked up the Combat Patrol and a box of Sword Brethren, and then the launch box for Black Templars. That's my whole army.
Yeah.
And the Combat Patrol has the new upgrade sprue in it.
Yes.
And I was able to customize
intercessors, right?
Yeah, 5 intercessors, a Crusade squad, the Hover Rhino, and then the Marshal. But I was able to completely just totally drip out the Dreadnought and the Impulse with that one upgrade kit.
With the multi-melta too.
And they gave you a multi-melta. Genuinely, man, it's really good. And like, but what I hate about Games Workshop is that they don't do the chess pieces anymore because Marines aren't built that way.
I know. It's
I will say the shoulder pads and all the extra add-ons and the other bits are fantastic. They look excellent in my opinion.
I like the fact that they added the actual relic weapons.
Yeah, dude, like the relic, the executioner sword, and everything, and the helmet. I really liked I loved all of that. It was very good. I think that the Dark Angels may be in a good place for that, but I'm not sure. Hopefully that's the case. I want to see more of that, but I just want to see Games Workshop not treat every Marine faction like, oh look, you're playing Raven Guard. Well, here's a Raven Guard upgrade sprue. 10 shoulder pads and a helmet. Go fuck yourself.
That sucks. I hate.
It's like fuck you, Games Workshop. Yeah. You know what? I have played in the last year. Here's some of the games I played. The new systems I played. I played one game of 40K last year.
Yeah.
That was 9th edition boarding actions with my Imperial Agents army against
Tyranids. How was boarding actions? Because I never actually.
Dude, it was stupid fun. It was so fucking fun. And the Imperial Agents can if you take the I took 3 squads of Navy breachers. They can cut holes in walls, move through the walls and shit. And we made a killing room for the Tyranids that they just got funneled in there. And Brian was playing with Blood Angels. Oh, it was awesome. It was so much fun.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah.
It was really fun. I really enjoyed. So you take 2 boards, 2 of the inside boards. I have them from Kill Team because I have a crack addiction to plastic. And you put them together, and that's the board size for boarding actions. You can't go larger than 2 of the boards put together. And then you just there's supposed to be map layouts, but that's lame. I'm just gonna freeload. I bought 2 boxes of the of the Kill Team Into the Dark, so I had hella terrain. And I made this pseudo off-hanger command room area. It was very cool. It was really fun. That was the last game of 9th edition I played. And through all the shit that everybody gave 9th, it was a lot of fun. It was cool that every unit was just super overloaded with stuff. Despite fighting Tyranids, we ended up drawing, and I was playing Imperial Agents, which isn't even a very good army at all. Everything felt pretty balanced, and then they dropped 10th edition.
Oh, dude, I hate 10th with a passion.
Bro, I have not played a game of 10th edition. I'm gonna keep going. I picked up Heresy again. We played that Heresy game. I played a lot of Guild Ball last year. About that. Guild Ball is phenomenal, dude.
Dude,
for a dead game, there's still a ton of people that play it. They have a great Discord server for it.
Yeah. I played one game of 10th at launch, and I was like, no, this is terrible. This is bad. I will not be playing this. 9th edition, I only enjoyed during Crusade.
I'm the opposite. I found Crusade to be a bad version of Age of Sigmar's Crusade. What I didn't like
I mean,
about it
Age of
is the relic
Sigmar is
points. With Age of Sigmar, you get it. You can name the units. You can do
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Age of Sigmar's
the
Crusade
missions
is
lend
really good.
themselves to be really fun. I'm sorry for running you over with text, but I'm just gonna get this out there and then you can talk. But,
Yeah.
so here's my big thing with ninth. The Crusade missions in ninth all felt like they were balanced for competitive play. There was not a narrative styled mission.
Yeah.
Kill Team 1.0 had more narrative missions than ninth edition's Crusade.
Yes.
With the fact that there is a mission in Kill Team where it's like, you are surrounded, get off the board.
Yeah.
Good luck. Like
Yeah.
that is awesome, and I would love to play that scenario in 40K.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, that's not a scenario.
Yeah, so to what I was like,
And I've played that scenario before. I've played that scenario in other war games. I played it in Infinity, and I've played it in A Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh,
and
that's such a good
I've seen
game.
it played in Legion. You can do it. You can make that work on a big scale.
Yeah, dude, we used to play a scenario called "A Bridge Too Far" at some of the conventions.
That's
I used
really
to go
cool.
to.
I like that. I like the reference too.
Yeah, it was basically split up to be like 1,000 points, or I'm sorry, like 2,000 point attacking army on one side of the board, 1,000 point, or it was like it was a ratio. It wasn't exactly 2,000 points, but it would be the ratio of like 2,000 to 1,000. So it would basically be a sandwich layer across the board. It would be 2,000 points attacking, 1,000 points defending, 1,000 1,000 points attacking, then 2,000 points defending on the other side, which is supposed to be the relief column. The 1,000 points defending is supposed to be all holed up in a city, being besieged on both sides.
That is sick, dude. No, I would play. That sounds fun.
That shit was awesome.
Instead of like, you need to recover this data drive. It could be in one of these 6 scenarios and it will land on turn 3. Fucking okay. I've played that at tournaments. Like,
yeah, that's
great. It's such narrative gameplay.
Yeah, so to the point of that, like, I didn't like 9th edition either. Crusade is
I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. Kind of like how Modern Warfare 2, like OG Modern Warfare 2, everything was OP. So as a result, everything was OP.
Yeah, I mean,
you had to play OP to win, and everyone just took overloaded shit and ran it at each other, and I'm okay with that.
It wasn't fun though, to me at least.
I don't know. I played a lot of Deathwatch. That was Deathwatch and Death Guard were my factions for 9th edition.
Yeah,
but mainly Deathwatch, and I felt dirty finishing up some of those games. I'm gonna be real. I having the damage for Thunderhammer on Vanguard Assault Intercessors is just not okay.
Yeah, but see, like, so that's the thing. It's like, yeah, sure, that's like everything's powerful and whatever, and it's like that's fine. I think 40K really fell off towards the tail end of 8th edition, and it's only been going downhill since then.
I would say maybe if you want to get technical with it, because 9th edition was very fun early on before all the codexes came out. It was fun and it was unique. It felt like an updated 8th edition where like, oh, I know that my Lehman Russ tank is being overloaded by Tyranids right now, but unlike an 8th edition where I just couldn't fucking do anything about it, I can shoot into combat. That was a really nice change.
Yeah. That's like a very minor update. That does
but like
not
all of those minor updates about flyers flying off the grid and dying after they couldn't move. No, they just come on the other side. I was okay with that.
Yeah.
I think that was an okay change.
So that's a good change because that's a change that they took from 6th and 7th edition because flyers would fly off the board, they would go onto ongoing reserves, and you can bring them back on in whatever attack pattern you wanted.
Right, but in 9th edition, they had to go back on the other. So if they like flew to the left, they would have to come back on the right, like a Pac-Man maze.
Right. Which, whatever.
I don't mind that. My whole thing is that
it's better than destruction. That's for sure.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say though is that early on for 9th edition, it was genuinely very like fun. You could bring whatever you wanted. It was all this like, well, what are they going to add? What are they going to add? Oh man, these missions are great. Hell, I'll even give the Crusade some decent credit. And then they started dropping these like Seasons of War and mission packs and shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you want to play Black Templars and specifically this formation? Go buy this $30 spiral bound book. Not even like a book, but like a spiral journal with scenarios in it.
Yes. So though that was terrible. I hated those little fucking things. I mean, it had some nice content in it, but good luck getting anyone to do it because that content was usually aligned for like one or two factions. So you had to basically play that person's game for them,
The
which is
last,
it's
the
fine if
last
you want to do that, but yeah.
I went to the Denver Midwest Showdown in 2021. No, 2022. Sorry. And just genuinely, everybody. I was playing Age of Sigmar there, but everyone
Yeah.
else was playing 40k, and everyone there looked like they were just not having a fun time. They were
Yeah.
all, and I like, I don't know, man, because I get where it's coming from. In like a vacuum, if you're playing casually with your friends, Warhammer's a great game, especially like 9th edition, hell, maybe even 10th, but I'm a little reserved on that now. But just the this big push to cater to like Magic the Gathering players. I'm gonna call them
Yeah.
that because they're super competitive. They don't want to actually like paint any miniatures, and they
Yeah.
don't want to learn about the lore. They just want to make stuff and play the game. Fucking more power
Yes.
to you, bro. But
Well, that was the
Warhammer's not
death
not for
knell.
that.
That was the initial death knell of 8th edition because in my local meta, that's when a lot of Magic players started getting into Warhammer was in 8th edition. And it was like you could definitely see that trend coming. I never fought more on painted armies than I ever did
Oh,
in
oh
8th.
man. I
It was
got a
bad.
story here, and I don't think this guy's ever gonna listen, but everyone called him Templar Tom, right?
Oh
And I
no.
played him at the 2020 con in Denver, and he brought an army of bases. No miniatures. Maybe you have a torso if you're
You're
lucky.
fucking kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. And it was it was like bases, and he would just say what was on the bases, and some of them would have torsos, some of them wouldn't.
Fuck that.
Um, and he was like, "These are my devastators. They're coming in on the drop pod." And then he used a sun-kissed can as the drop pod. And I was just like, I hate this. I'm
That
sitting
is
there with a fully
ghetto.
painted Raven Guard army, and I'm like, this is so
Fuck that
lame.
person. Fuck
And
that
I like
person
what
to
sucks
death.
about it is I forgot stuff was there because I couldn't physically see the model on the board. I could just see the
Yeah.
bases, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna ignore that. And I'm like, oh,
He
wait a
could have
minute.
at least painted the word devastator on the base.
Nah,
At
dude, he had
bare
like he
minimum.
didn't even do that, man. It was rough. It's
But
bad.
even if he had just glued a weapon to the base, still unacceptable. But even like just the bare minimum of letting your opponent know what the fuck anything is.
And I know why Games Workshop is balancing Warhammer 40k for competitive play is because it looks really good on a battle report on YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, Play on
Unfortunately,
Tabletop played this game. Oh, I might pick it
yeah.
up. I like
Yeah.
competitive games. I'll
Yeah.
try anything once. Oh yeah, I built this army of Necrons. But
Yeah.
if you're coming in here and you haven't played Warhammer before and you have a vested interest, well, fucking welcome in, man. Great, cool shit to do, but just it really depends on who you're playing with and what you're doing. I'm just gonna leave it at that because
Yeah.
Warhammer we could just have as a whole topic, so we're gonna
Yeah.
move on.
I'm just gonna say go play
What is
Heresy.
one non-Games Workshop game that you are currently like building and painting for?
I'm currently building and painting for. Um, that's a tough one, actually. 'Cause
Jack looks over at his 3D printer. All of it's just Space Marines.
yeah,
I
a
I
little bit,
fucking knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
a little bit. I think because the other games that I play, that are non GW is, Song of Ice and Fire. I love
We gotta
that
play that,
game.
man. My Greyjoy is thirst for blood.
Oh, dude, my Baratheons are bringing the
You play
hammers, brother.
Baratheons? You're a nerd.
Dude,
Fuck you.
I play Baratheons because Stannis is the fucking man,
I
brother.
disagree.
Fuck that.
I
You
know
are
nothing about the
wrong.
Baratheons, by the
Barath-
way.
Guess what? They're basically playing as Imperial Fists.
That's really cool, but I'm Viking man.
I mean, that's cool. Say hello to my hammers. My hammers.
Maybe I'll play my House Martell army I got on Black Friday for $60.
I really want to actually play against the Martells. That sounds
Yeah,
like really
I'll paint
cool.
them up then. I'll do that.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
I will say this. Fuck Night Watch players. You guys are fucking
I've
cunts and
not played
schmoes.
anyone, and I was talking to Vulcan, and Vulcan wants to play Night's Watch.
So that's understandable because Vulcan does like to optimize. And
No, he's just like, I get to play as Jon Snow and have catapults. I'm in.
So sure, however, it also so happens to be that the Night's
This is for
Watch.
like the 5 song players that are actually listening to the podcast.
Yeah,
And made it this far too. This
yeah.
is for you
Which,
guys.
by the way, anyone who's listening who doesn't play, you should go pick it up.
Yeah,
It's a
go pick
great
up A Song
game.
of Ice and Fire by Simon Games or Command Games. It's actually excellent if you're a new painter. You buy the army starter, but you have to like kind of commit to it. If you look at like House Greyjoy and you're like, oh, those look really good, I can see myself painting them at least. You buy it,
Yeah,
and what's really great about that is you have like 50 models in the box, so you have a lot
yeah.
of miniatures to work on and get better at.
It's
It's
great.
an excellent way to enter the hobby. I would argue cheaper than Warhammer.
Absolutely, because realistically, if you're not buying like an army starter, if you just want to go by pure boxes alone, like of individual units, you really only need maybe 4 or 5 boxes, and each one is only like $30.
Yeah, it's like
It's
$34, dude, and that's not factoring in like discounts from places on like Amazon
yeah.
and shit.
And if you get a starter box, usually that comes with like 4 units and some like non-combat characters, and that's usually like $100. And right off the bat, great deal. And that brings me to my favorite part about Song of Ice and Fire. I would argue that half the game is not played on the battlefield. In fact, I'd say there's more importance and reliance on the
I like the
sideboard.
NCUs. I like the political because in Song of Ice and Fire, you do have like a whole like I would call it the political phase or like the scheming phase where you
Yeah.
go through and you pick schemes and you pick like boons for your army and your faction to gain the leg up on the other army. Very much, it's very Game of Thrones with the way that
Oh yeah.
you do have these kind of like political
It's great.
backstabbing and all this intrigue. It's very good. And
Yeah,
if you guys do buy like a starter box, let's say you want to play like House Stark or House Targaryen, and you buy that one box, good news, there's your army. Like most
yes.
of the time, that army is enough to play the game.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. Um, the really cool thing with the sideboard, it's like there's 5 political slots on the side, 6 if you're playing Martells, because they add the like the gardens of whatever the fuck it's called. But
Yeah, the definitely not. Oh, what are they called? The Babylon Gardens. Definitely not a
yeah,
reference to that, guys.
yeah, definitely not that. Definitely not the Hanging
Not
Gardens.
the Hanging Gardens of Babel. No, sir.
Definitely not. The NCU board, it comes to like it's like the crown, the coin, the like master of swords, weapons, shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. Whole bunch of shit like that. And you have NCU characters that are very important because these are guys that like they're not combat guys. They do not fight like what's his
Let's
name?
say you're looking at like Huron Greyjoy and you see him on the field, but what's the other guy? Not the Ironmaker dude.
Oh,
He'll be on the political board,
yes,
and
the
that's where they do their battle.
the
It's
drowned man. What's
yeah,
his
yeah.
name?
What's his name?
Aaron?
I can't.
A-
Yeah,
Aaron. So if you take him, you can like put him on the crown slot. In addition to reaping the benefit of the crown slot, you also get his unique benefit that he has. And better than that, so like you could either when it's your turn, you could either choose to activate a combat unit or you could put an NCU character on the board. And sometimes it behooves you to not take initiative on the battlefield and instead start stacking up a thing or play a denial game. So like say Peter Baelish, who was one of my favorite NCUs to use back in the day because he could hop around on the political board. You could be like, I'm going to take the crown, but I can use, instead of taking the crown's benefit, I will instead be using the Master of Coins benefit because that was his special ability. And then you could be like, okay, now I'm denying the opponent from taking the crown because every army has some preferred slots that they want to take. You can be like, I will now deny him of getting that and instead also get the benefit that I want instead. And it's like, it's this really cool side game to the actual game.
now, keep in
It's
mind, guys, that this is still happening while your war game is going on, and it's not as hard as you think. The political board is really just like a punch out, like a little thing, and you put a guy on
yeah,
there. But you have to factor: do I want to take an activation and like hit this squad of Targaryen red cloaks, or do I want to take an activation on the political board? It's very cool.
Yeah.
It feels very Game of Thrones. Like as this army is fighting, you have your political non-combat unit like bartering with the other side, or trying to like disrupt supply lines or spread rumors around the court. It's very cool, and it feels very, I guess, Game of Thronesy if you've watched the show for the first like 4 seasons, where you have all that political intrigue.
Where it's good.
Very good. I can't recommend it enough. But for me, I got to go with Malifaux.
Malifaux's cool.
I've been on some shit with this game. I have played one test game against myself with it.
That's a game I want to play.
So different. I really like it. I like the card game aspect. Somebody told me, my friend Sage said that it was very gimmicky. But I don't think so. I don't think it's gimmicky because the way that the cards work, you're not drawing cards to try to get the bigger number to beat the guy. You can literally, like, depending on what master you're playing, you can open up your deck, search for cards. Or if you're playing like Seamus, you can look at the top 3 and then put them and load your deck with those top 3 cards in any order you want.
Yeah.
And then when you come down to getting to that card that you know you need, it's right there and ready to go. It's very, very cool. And the miniatures are just so different. They're very 1800s-ish. You have cowboys shooting at like goblin swamp folk who are fighting actual like 17th century explorers with like pit helmets.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
All while you're fighting like mechanical augmented mechs and literal like nightmare demons.
Yeah. Oh, so it's like a big mash 'em up.
Yeah, sort of. There's 8 factions and they all have their own special aesthetic.
Yeah.
That's like the guild is very like the law, with like riflemen and like sentry robots and like different bounty hunters. Or my favorite master, Lucius Matheston, is literally just, he's not very good in combat. Well, his entire crew isn't, but what he's really good at is just fucking with the other player and manipulating what they can and can't do, where they can go, where they can't go.
That's
and
cool.
Fucking with their scheme markers. So the goal is to get to 8 points of, and the way you get there is pretty much by any means. You could totally just curb stomp your enemy into oblivion to try to get to the 8 points, or you can outwit them and tactic them. And everything in between. There's some units that focus on killing shit, some units that don't take damage, some units that don't die, some units that spawn in stuff, some masters that are just huge beat horses. Some of them are a little bit more in the back reserved, and some of them are just... Oh, and there's also samurai and ninjas and shit. Some of them are literally like samurai that just go in there and just attack shit.
It kind of reminds me of like the same kind of setting. What was that old game that came on Hexes? It was it's not HeroClix, but HeroScape.
HeroScape? Nah, HeroScape was my first ever miniatures game, and it's more like a war game.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you are drawing from like different stuff. Yeah, HeroScape was a big hodgepodge of random shit.
Yeah, like the real like potpourri of everything.
I didn't mind that. If I want to talk about HeroScape, I'm sad that the Kickstarter failed and we're not getting a new edition of it. I'm very sad about that. But I love it.
Because I wanted to use those HeroScape tiles for
Sergeant. Dude, I see people doing that. And I don't. It's not the dub you think it is, man.
Oh, really?
No, it doesn't look. Cool. If you're building the whole board out of it, maybe, but I see people use it as like big platforms and like mountains and plateaus. And to that,
I'd rather use the whole board.
To that, I'd rather say like go buy Gale Force 9's Hex Tech terrain.
Okay. Okay.
Because that was made with BattleTech in mind. And speaking of which, let's talk about BattleTech now. Because that's a game I picked up last year and I have absolutely adored it.
Yeah, so that's something I need to start working on again. Is painting my BattleTech minis.
Right.
I did bring them with me to Colorado, so those are on the list of games to play.
Yeah, we gotta play some of that. I did get Brian the starter of it, and Brian bought like 9 Lance boxes when he was in Texas. So.
Oh, holy shit!
Yeah, he bought a lot of stuff. He got me Snords Irregulars for Christmas.
Ooh, nice. Dude, I love the idea of like those crazy people that play an entire drawn out war.
I've seen that. And you have the auxiliary forces with helicopters and shit.
Helicopters,
Oh,
infantry,
dude, that's
tanks.
a game that I think works better than Imperialis. I'm gonna be real, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, wouldn't that just be like BattleTech? Why wouldn't I want to go play BattleTech?
So, well, it depends because BattleTech's it's basically the giant in-depth mech combat just on a giant scale, and it'll take a while. If you're playing one of these giant battle games, it's gonna take you weeks, and I mean like literal weeks. But if that's what you're down for, fuck yeah, that's cool because you're essentially playing a like an actual proper war game. I would even neglect to say game and replace it with simulator.
Well,
Like
I agree with you there,
that's
but
how
what I
crazy
say
it
is like you have the main focus of the game, which is the mechs, and then you have the auxiliary forces as well.
Yeah.
And I think that is much better of a way to approach the game versus what Warhammer did with Legion Imperialis. Because you still
Well,
have that in-depth mech combat. If I'm fighting a Titan and I just like shoot all my guns at the Titan and just smoke him, and I'm like, that's it.
well, that's probably not going to happen. So they did
No,
a
I mean from
really
like
good
Titan to
job.
Titan combat.
So they did a really good job making Titans feel like gods of the battlefield.
Okay.
It's to the point where if you're one-shotting a Titan, something has gone horribly wrong, and it's probably never going to happen actually statistically.
That was
Um,
my big worry with Legion Imperialis guys. Is I was just kind of like, what is making it different than Legion Titanicus?
I think like minimum to kill a Titan, you need 2 turns because damage happens simultaneously,
I
and
like that.
due to allocation, any of the heavy hitting bullshit that's gonna hit your shields that will like actually do damage to your core, you can just bounce them off your shields and take the minor stuff on later. You would have to knock down the Titan's void shields first, and then at minimum, hit them with like 2 or 3 volcano cannons from a warlord Titan in order to down a Titan in one go. It's
Insane.
it's like it's not happening in one turn. Not
Okay.
unless an entire army filled with nothing but anti-tank weapons is targeting that.
Nice. Okay, that's yeah, that was one of my big fears there, something like that. But
Yeah, no,
yeah, no, BattleTech is
it's very
just
intelligently designed.
I do like I played both the BattleTech War game and I played the BattleTech 1v1 like arena version of the game.
Yeah,
And
I
I fucking dig both of them. They're great. I played Clanners and that was really fun. And then
mm,
I played a Centurion with a Lightning Claw.
oh dude,
And
that's I
I think
love that.
I hit my buddy's ammunition reserve in his
Yeah,
Shadowhawk and blew him up and fucking killed him after like 3 turns of combat. But
dude,
it
I
was
love
some really
BattleTech.
rigorous shit.
I was one time I was playing on this like 3v3 game back in Jersey, and like the
Right.
opening salvo, one guy he was on the other side of the field. One guy took like a pot shot at the enemy mech, somehow domed the mech, got like the 1 to 100 odds of like headshotting the mech with a really powerful autocannon. Boom, one shot done, that mech is done. There goes like one of his linchpin mechs, and it's like, hey, that's BattleTech dice, baby. That's how it goes.
But that's just how it is though.
I love it. I love that kind of shit.
Say, man, the random like the random aspect in BattleTech is not done up a ton to the point where it feels like rolling dice almost doesn't matter.
Right.
But to me, you're rolling the dice because it matters.
Yes, exactly.
You'll do damage probably, but what would be really cool, blowing up in his ammunition reserves. That would be really
Yeah.
cool.
And then a chain reaction happens, and then boom, 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 and it's catastrophic. I love it. In terms of,
I think we got to talk about Old World now, Jack.
I was gonna say before we bring it back to GW, if there's any other games you want to talk about,
Um,
'cause, one of them for me is some because we mentioned earlier some of the Star Wars games from formerly Fantasy Flight, now Atomic Mass. Um, X-Wing I used to play. X-Wing I think has fallen off in 2.0, especially in its current state.
I think a lot of people don't like 2.0 X-Wing because I did play that. I
Yeah,
liked 1.0 a lot.
they went a whole digital route and they changed the point values
That's
really
something that I found
stupidly.
Fantasy Flight is really good at doing is just ruining a game by making it digital. Like
Yeah.
you said with that fucking app.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's so bad. And there was like 2 apps, and they canceled one of them, and now that fuck X-Wing 2.0. Just gonna say.
Yeah.
I still love Armada. I think Armada is a
I have
great
seen
fucking
people
game.
play Armada, and it's very cool seeing all those ships out on the table.
Oh, it's great. Just like the way you have to play it, because you have to shoot before you move. So you can't just fly into an optimal position and then unload. You have to really think ahead to the next turn. Like, okay, I need to be firing at the start of the next turn. Where do I think the enemy ship's going to be, and where do I want to end up where I could actually start targeting things? And it's really cool. Legion. I don't know if you ever played Legion.
I have a Legion army. I've not played it. I
Legion
have an
is
Empire army.
fuck yeah, dude. I have Empire and Republic.
Nice.
Um, but Legion is awesome. I haven't played it, however, since the massive string of Republic nerfs. Because it felt really, really bad, and it really took me out of the game for a while. But Legion is a really good game. And then there's that new one that came out. That's like the skirmish game.
Shatterpoint. I'm
Shatterpoint.
painting up Shatterpoint right now. Actually, I'm going to be running.
Shatterpoint
I
is
have a
really
list where
cool.
it is Anakin Skywalker, Rex, 2 clones, and then two clone commandos.
Fucking based.
Yeah.
Bad
So
ass.
that's my list.
Is it possible to run like just the clone commando list?
I want to, bro. I love them so much.
Yeah,
We're
because
getting
I'm
them
just
for Legion this year. We're getting like Commando minis
oh
for Legion.
fucking finally, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Because
it's about damn time.
all I ever want to do is just field Delta Squad.
Dude, so that's what my Necromunda team was painted as. My Paladin
Yeah.
Forcers, they were my Delta Squad
Yeah.
guys. But I'm hopeful for that, but I think Shatterpoint to me is much more interesting than Legion. I'll play Legion absolutely. I definitely do want to play that, but right now Shatterpoint, I'm into skirmish games right now, man. I'm in skirmish
Yeah.
mode.
Shatterpoint is fucking hot, and it's got cool terrain. It's
I
got
like the
cool
terrain,
looking
dude. The terrain
rules.
is really good, and it's
It's
almost mini game
amazing.
agnostic too. It's big terrain, man. It's some
Yeah.
serious amounts of terrain.
It's so
I
fucking
did not get any
cool.
instructions to build the terrain or any of the minis. There was no instructions in the box. There's nothing that said
It's
on my
all
box.
free form.
Yeah, there's nothing in my box that said, "Hey, you can get the instructions here online."
Yeah.
I ended up finding somebody with the instructions in like a PDF format on Reddit.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
weird
my
of
one
it.
complaint. But I
Yeah.
got to shout out this game called Malifaux: The Other Side. It's a
Okay.
Malifaux game, but it's the war game for Malifaux. It's
Okay.
it's different. You
How
have like
so?
you have a squad and you have them on the bases, but then the squads go on like a Song of Ice and Fire, like circular bases, or where you have the full squad. You all
Oh,
put them
yeah,
on
okay.
larger bases, but they're all circular. So you have like 3 Gatling gunners on one base, and then that's the squad. You move the larger base, so they're giving you movement trays.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
very
think
cool
I have
looking.
seen
The
this.
minis are cool. It's Sonya Creed versus some lady.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
It's really cool though. And all of the miniatures in there can be used in Malifaux as well. So
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you played Marvel Crisis
I
Protocol.
did play MCP. I found the game incredibly generic.
So here,
From what I can
because
tell, Shatterpoint plays like that, but with a Star Wars flavor, and I think it lends itself to that a lot more than the dumb superhero shit that Marvel Crisis Protocol had going for it.
yeah, so I find the game very enjoyable. I only played a few demos. I didn't like. I only have one model for it, and that's Magneto because I think Magneto is fucking cool.
Nice.
The when I played the game, it was awesome. Like I like the fact that you can like create your teams based off of like different in
Different
comic
keywords. Yeah.
well yeah, like in comic like forces that existed. If I were to get deeper into it, I forget the name of the faction, but it's a faction led by Blade, and with Blade you
Or the
get
Vampire Hunter ones.
no, I think it's like a Vigilantes of New York or some
Oh,
bullshit like
that's
that.
cool.
And so you get like Blade on the team. Punisher can be included at any point in time for whatever faction.
Is this like based off the Netflix series that they had, or it's like Blade, Luke Cage, the Iron Fist?
No, so it's not those guys. It's a very specific other thing where Blade is the leader of that faction, and I genuinely can't remember it right now.
Okay.
But like you get basically all the hard asses from Marvel are all on the team. So you got like Blade, you got fucking Punisher, you got what's his name? Oh fuck. It's not like good guy or bad guy aligned. It's like pretty between the lines of guys you can include on that team. But that's the force I would play.
Nice.
They're fucking dope. But I think that's all I have to say about Fantasy Flight, because I don't think they've come out with anything new since then.
Nope.
Or anything that's worth mentioning.
Not really. It's Fantasy Flight, man.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about the old world pretty
yes,
bad.
I
am stuff I want to say, bro.
I'm so fucking pumped.
Dude, I'm so ready.
World.
I'm so fucking ready. I got a dwarf army that's just been like waiting for this moment.
I have an
It's
Empire
2 copies
army.
of Battle of Skull Pass, a couple of the updated dwarf warriors, some of the hammerers, an updated Slayer, and then I think just a Rune Lord as well. And Belagar Ironhammer, because you gotta go with the true King of 8 Peaks.
That guy fucking rules.
Love Belagar Ironhammer, absolute homie. And then I have a Dark Elf army I'm working on, and then a High Elf one I'm working on too.
Yeah, dude, the Dwarf army's so cool. In Fantasy, that's the only time I ever really tolerate High Elves is Warhammer Fantasy, because they're actually like how they're pretty cool.
Because they're just smart, they're just snooty.
And they have like a really cool seafaring type like army to them. I love the Lothern
Seaguard, yeah.
Yeah, they're so fucking awesome.
I'm fairly certain we might be just like getting them back.
Yeah, because you get like a spear and shield unit that has a bow with them.
Yeah, so that's Lothern Seaguard. I played against them in 2020. I played my first game of Warhammer Fantasy Battles like during COVID. It was my Chaos Warriors versus my buddy Sage's High Elves.
Nice.
Lothern Seaguard are not to be trifled with, man. I'm just gonna say that they are not fun to deal with.
Yeah, man.
But I do have to say I found it interesting. I'm looking at Warhammer Community right now, right?
Yes.
I'm looking at all these all the fun stuff. And they're talking about the Sunday preview here, and I'm seeing battle forces for like, I probably won't pick one up, to be honest. I don't really care about either of those armies.
I will. So I already have a Tomb King's
here's
army.
Something.
So.
Here we go. Take a look at this. I'm gonna read this to you. The Grail Knights and Grail Knight Command Squad.
Yes. Metal.
Some Bretonnian knights are marked by the lady and embark on quests. If they succeed, they're forever changed. The Grail Knight kit contains 3 metal Grail Knights with plastic horses.
Yes.
Enough for a small unit. The Grail Knight Command gives you a champion music banner to lead your heroes. Now, these are not new sculpts. These are the old Grail Knight sculpts.
Yes.
They're in metal.
Yup.
And the horses are in plastic. I found that interesting because the Tomb Kings are the same way.
Yes, sir. So all those old models.
It's crazy to me because they're all old. Does this mean that we'll be seeing? Because and I get the Sepulchre Stalkers and the Necropolis Knights. Like, I know for a guy, in fact, off of eBay, highly sought after units for Tomb Kings.
Fuck yeah.
Those are all in plastic again. The Canary War Sphinx, I believe that may also be plastic, but Cetra.
The Necro Sphinx.
Oh no. Yeah. They did not give. I don't know how to feel because Cetra, I feel like needs an updated mini.
He does, but
I also like the old one, but in like a nostalgic factor. I'd love to see like just do what they did with Cetra with all that other stuff, man. It's perfect. Yeah. The metal, so Cetra I think is metal.
Yes.
And his chariot is plastic, which will be okay. And I don't want to be a stickler for this, but I know a lot of these sculpts were hand designed, so I think that's why they hold up a little bit more.
Yes.
But at the same time, this may not bode well for some other factions.
So I think It depends, because if they're bringing back just the old models, I am more than happy with that because they all had beautiful character to them. They're all really fun. And if they get updated slowly over time, all the better. That's great. I'm just happy to see the old lads back. So
Right.
I have a Tomb King's army already. I might
Right.
pick up like a War Sphinx or a Necro Sphinx to supplement it, but and I also have an Empire army that I got from my buddy's father when he was selling like all of his old shit. So I have like a
We'll probably
huge
see the
Empire
Empire
army.
stuff come back too. But let me
Oh
ask you
yeah,
this,
dude.
Jack.
Yes.
With Games Workshop not being able to meet a lot of these supply line problems, because I know Legion Imperialis like effectively nuked the ability for them to replicate any Christmas battle forces
Yeah.
and any of the Cities of Sigmar stuff, because they're
Yeah.
like, oh, we gotta get these out, gotta push them out, and
Yup.
I'm wondering, with all these new plastic minis, where are they going to find the time to make and replicate a lot of the older stuff? Because I know for a goddamn fact, Cetra will sell out immediately.
Yeah. Well,
And
here's the thing.
I'm wondering how long it's going to take for someone to sit there and be like, when are they going to restock Cetra? And it's like, I don't know, but look,
Yep.
we
Well,
made
here's the thing. It's gonna take a long time.
more Space Marines. Look, guys, it's Commissary Eric, and he's in a dreadnought. You buy him, please.
Yeah.
And it's
Look,
like, right, but
it's gonna
where's
take
the
some time.
Chimerian War Sphinx? What about the Necker Sphinx? Like,
Yeah. It's gonna take some time, and
I think they're going to either need to expand production or figure out a way to multitask with this, because
they're probably going to expand.
another
They're
thing I
probably gonna get
felt
new
with the old
machines.
world, I'm drawing a lot of lines to how Heresy was like initially launched and teased and everything.
Yeah.
Heresy threw its dick out on the table and was like, check this shit out. Boom.
Look at all
Full fucking CG trailer. A
Yeah.
reveal of the box that looks fucking godly. Still talked
yeah.
about as one of the best box releases to this day.
Oh yeah.
And you're going to be able to use all your old minis with the same rules. And we're going to be doing new plastic releases every couple of months. And we're going to really update the game and bring it forward off of Forge World. And everyone was
yeah.
like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And then with this, it's like, I remember seeing the first article about the old world in like 2019.
They've been teasing it for a very long
Yeah,
time.
everyone was like, oh man, this is so great. Old world's coming back. And I'm like, when are they going to like officially announce it? And they kind of did. They were like, we're bringing back Old World. You're going to get a taste of it with this Bretonnian knight character, which is the one that has like the head impaled into the orc.
Yeah.
And then you had the other Tomb King.
The Paladin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually why I really appreciate what they did, because when they first made that announcement, they're like, okay, guys, we're letting you know Old World is going to exist. But here's the thing, it's going to take us a few years. So we just want to let you know.
I didn't mind that because it was in 2019 and everybody felt the same way. They were like, that's fine. I'm just happy that we have some news, I guess.
Yeah, it's like it's going to come. Don't worry, it's coming. So when it finally got announced for the very early of this year, everyone was like, "Oh, dude, hell yeah!" And
but I'm not disappointed. I'm just kind of wondering. We had all this stuff coming out about everything for Horus Heresy for months, dude. Like for like 2 months, they were talking about what the legions would do and what their upgrades are going to be and everything like that. We don't even have. I get that there's a ton of like factions and everything. Yeah. We don't even have half the factions ready to play.
Yes, so
we don't even have from what I can tell here, it looks like Bretonnians. Like there's no individual releases for the trebuchets. The Knight, a lot of the stuff here, it's kind of like they dusted off the molds again and reprinted them. But you gotta ask with Bretonnia, and I know this because Bretonnia and Tomb Kings are the two factions that everyone's like, I wish I could go back and get them or play them. And it's like, look, here you can.
It's so interesting. The two factions that got completely axed from Sigmar, those are the two that are making the direct return.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
And I know they're doing that because everyone's like, oh, they're back. Look, but when's it going to be like, oh, you know what? I could really use like an updated kit for riflemen or the Hellstorm rocket battery or something like that. And it's like, well, too bad. You want an Old World. You're just going to get Old World. My big fear is that they're not going to update any of the factions like they did with both of these. And they're just going to kind of shit out the rules for them. Yeah, I would love to see a new dwarf Thane on like one of those carryable like thrones.
Yeah.
I'd love because there are some that really do need an update.
Yeah. So I'm okay with it being a slow burn for releases because a
Oh yeah,
lot
me
of
too. But
people.
I'm worried that they're not gonna fully commit to it, and they're just gonna hope that people are gonna ride on the hope of like, the old world is back. Whoa!
Well, I think
Like,
that like their
uh,
intention is like, okay, we know a lot of people still have their old fantasy armies, so a lot of our player base, even the majority, is going to be people that already own this. So we're
here's
gonna
what I'm
just
worried about
release some
though.
books, and then like eventually it's gonna be a slow burn over time, and everyone will get their armies eventually, and there'll be a couple updated minis here and there, but it's not gonna be like this grand thing. I mean, a lot of the new
Dog,
models are gonna
I'm
be Forge World resin.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm just gonna flat out say it. Say it. I know so many people that were so disheartened when Warhammer Fantasy was gone,
Yes,
and
I
they
was one
they
of those.
they they almost ruined their army having to transport them back onto circular bases just for
Uh,
GW to wait like 8 years and be
yeah,
like, yeah, it's back. Well, now,
yeah. Rest in peace on those guys. GW's biggest ball drop of all time
yeah,
was
is handling
having.
the old world.
Well, no, not just that. It was releasing Warhammer Total War and then not having Warhammer Fantasy models to buy because
Yeah, that's factual, dude.
people would play that game and be like, "Yo, this is cool!" And this is based off a
Oh, where can
tabletop
I
game.
play Cetra the Imperishable or King
It's like,
Leoncoeur? And it's like you
Like,
can't.
oh, sorry, doesn't exist.
uh,
Doesn't exist. Fuck off. It's like that
I
was the biggest striking when the iron was cold moment
That
ever.
was so awful. And they're like, but look, Stormcast,
Yeah,
whoa! And it's like, I don't care about these.
yeah. Well,
Stormcast
so
have come a long way, and I'm actually debating on doing a video called "The Ingoodening of Age of Sigmar" because it
it took
just
a while.
it's a great game now, and it had to find a way out of Warhammer Fantasy Shadow. And I think
Yeah,
part of that is because of Games Workshop just being the way it is. It couldn't do that for a long time.
yeah. Like
But I also want to
1.0,
ask this,
Sigmar was
Jack:
fine. Yeah.
is everything in this are all these minis in these two boxes brand new? I For
No.
the price you're paying, they better be. Fuck.
No, so there is a new kit, at least a couple new
I'm looking
kits.
at them now. The new boner dragon looks
Yeah,
great.
that's new.
I don't
Everything
think
from there.
$290 should be thrown on a price tag for what is essentially models from 2004 with a new rulebook.
I'm fine with it.
I'm not. I think that's just a huge fuck you to your fans.
No, dude, with the number of models you get in there,
Oh no, I'm
it's
looking at it.
insane.
It's a fine army choice, but it better all be new if I'm paying that price because that is one Age of Darkness box, and almost everything was new in there except the Terminators.
Right. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really want my baseline infantry to be so ridiculously detailed
I don't think
because
they even needed
it,
to do that. Just repose them, man. Don't make them look. You ever seen the old Chaos Warriors minis?
yeah,
They
they're
look
all
like
bunched up.
robotic, dude. They look fucking terrible. I love the new
So,
ones, and they look
well,
just about the same.
they needed to be like that to
I
be
know
able to
why, because
fit
they had to
in
sit on
the.
the 20 millimeter bases. I think
Yeah,
25
they need to
millimeter is going to
fit.
definitely fix that.
Yeah, they need to fit in rank and file really well. Now they can give it a little bit more dynamic posing. And that was already a problem with the skeletons as it stood because even being like condensed as they are on a small base, they still kind of protruded a little bit, so you'd always get your guys hooked onto each other. Expanding it to a 25 millimeter is a really good thing that they've done. Um, dude, I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna get the Bretonian box.
I don't, this is weird. It's not weird for me because I've been feeling this way for a while. I don't have like the last time I was genuinely like hyped for something ever was Horus Heresy 2.0. I woke
Yeah.
up, I got up, I drove to the game stores. They're 15 minutes early. I watched the dude walk in. Second I see that light go on that says open, I'm in there. I'm like, hey Jeremy, you got these? Like, that's right here. Fucking end my life. And I'm like, oh, this is
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, I was so happy, bro. And then like
Dude.
when Leviathan came around, I split it with my buddy Jay because he plays Tyranids. He loves Tyranids.
Oh yeah. Those new
And
Tyranid
Games
models
Workshop,
are
I
hot.
ordered it directly from GW because I was worried it would be like Indominus, where it's like just sells out immediately.
Yep,
So I was
yep.
like, the safe call is to go to Games Workshop.
Just get it
And
reserved.
then like Leviathan Day came out, and I was not working that day. And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna hope that my minis can get here in time. And this is gonna be such a huge bitchy thing to say, but like, Games Workshop emailed me and was like, we are delaying your package. You will not get it on that day. We don't know when you can get it. And I'm like, well, I'm meeting with Jay for these minis.
Yeah.
Jay needs something. I was gonna go pick up Shatterpoint anyway, so I pick up Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
Great box, like excellent value. I highly recommend that game. Looks great. While I'm there, it's like, hey, we'll sell you Leviathan for $170, and I'm like, sure. I don't even think and I'm thinking like, I'll just give Jay the other Tyranids. Would be good from there. And I'm like, I need something to give this guy.
Yeah.
Because he also wanted the book and all the extra goodies and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought both of those, and I go to the place I'm staying at, and there's a box on the door.
Oh.
And I felt like a huge fucking goober because there's Leviathan, and I'm holding Leviathan, and I'm just like, that is an allegory for how I felt through all of 10th edition so far.
Yeah.
I feel, why am I doing any of this?
Yeah. I will say this.
So I have never been like hyped for a Games Workshop product since, and that's fairly recently, I would say, because like that new Age of Darkness box for Heresy came out last year, but I've never been like insanely excited about something ever since then.
So
even when they reveal it, they're like, "Look, it's the lion," and I'm like, "Look, I can see the 3D print lines on the miniature you painted."
Yeah,
what's up with that?
Yeah, like I don't give a shit about.
Oh, check it out! New Cities of Sigmar stuff. Great.
They
can't wait to not get my hands on it.
Exactly, like they look cool, but I'm not going to touch it.
Oh, new Flesh Eater Court stuff. Oh, cool. That you can order in the new year, and I'm gonna go buy some Alpha.
Yeah. I mean, so those guys are cool. I do kind of.
I play Flesh Eater Courts, dude. I'm definitely gonna secure a box for it, but I'm just kind of waiting for it to go down in price. But that's my big thing. Games Workshop's always like, it's on its way, it's coming, and it's like, I would never want to do a day one army again for any of new Games Workshop's like relaunched or new games, just because of how bad I experienced it with like Leviathan, and then that whole fear of like, what if they run out of boxes for my Heresy box? Because when Indomitus came out, I couldn't even order that on Games Workshop. I drove down to the shop in Monument, and I was like, I need to buy Leviathan. They're like, great, we have like 9, and I'm like, put me on the fucking list like now. Not Leviathan, Indomitus, but that's more Games Workshop supply line problems, and I'm just curious to see how they will handle the old world.
So I think old world's going to be unique in this situation because we've already been waiting since the close of Fantasy for any real Fantasy to be back again. Fantasy players have learned to be very patient. But
I also don't want Fantasy players to just get jerked around by nostalgia. Because if I'm going to be real, dude, that dragon in that Tomb Kings box looks fucking goofy.
Let me take another look at it.
It looks okay, but it just looked goofy.
Let me see. Tomb Kings Old World.
But I appreciate a new model for Tomb Kings. That's very cool. Thank you for that, Games Workshop.
No, I want the new box. The one thing I don't like is the crest on the head.
Yeah, the crest on the head ruins it for me.
I think the rest is cool. And I'm pretty sure that crest is going to be like an optional build.
It is, I think. And they always have a history of just like making the lamest shit the optional build in like the professional photos.
Yeah.
Like, look, this is what it'll look like. And then you're like, I don't want to do that. And so like I picked up the Cities of Sigmar command box. You have a dude with like a bear helmet, and I'm like, that looks okay, I guess. And what they don't tell you is that he has like a Poseidon helmet with like a Triton that he can use. And that just looks infinitely more interesting to me.
Yeah. I guess they like really want you to delve in, or I don't know why they do what they do.
They do that because they think it looks cool, but I guarantee you, like everybody else out there is just like, that looks fucking lame.
Yeah, comparatively to the other one, hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, show me other thing. Show me other version. You know what game is really good about that is Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings.
Oh, that's a game I want to get into.
I picked up the Nords versus City States starter. Actually, I got it as a Christmas gift. And I genuinely, I sent you that photo of the resin character. It's like Spartan. genuinely the best resin sculpt I've ever seen. It's like artist grade.
Yeah, dude,
It
I
is so
want
fucking pretty, dude. I cannot wait to
what
play it. We should play the skirmish game though.
I want. Yeah, because I want Old Dominion.
Okay.
Those guys are cool. Oh, go
Ask
figure. It's basically Tomb Kings again, but Roman, but
yeah,
also
ask Brian.
Necrons.
Brian might sell you his Old Dominion.
Oh, does he have Old Dominion?
He
Oh,
might. I don't know, but I know he wanted to get on Conquest. I bought his Spire half, and I was like, these would make great enemies for D&D. And then I just never touched
the
them.
spires are really cool.
I like them. They look good. But dude, I'm gonna probably main the city states. They look city states. They look phenomenal. I'm probably gonna give the Nords to Dorn. We'll see. Maybe I'll keep them. The Nords also look really good. Everything in Conquest is what I've wanted out of like Warhammer Fantasy, just better.
It's all really cool.
The only thing I like about Warhammer Fantasy more is it's just charming. You can like envision yourself living in that world somewhere.
Yes, it's really cool. I want, dude. I am actually genuinely fucking hyped for first of all Old World in general. Second of all, the Bretonnian set is like, whoo! I'm all in on this.
Just
shit,
to make
dude.
sure that they can survive cannon blasts, Dowie.
Dude, fuck that. I don't care. Blow up my peasants. I don't give a shit. That's what I'm here to play, dude. That's what I'm here for.
I hope you don't mind 57 dwarf warriors because I have uneven numbers of them.
That's fine. I don't give a shit. That's
all right, sweet.
Well and cool. Dude, I used to play Empire. I know all about fucking great cannons and fucking hordes of fucking dumbasses with whatever. Shit's awesome.
I finished priming all of my dwarves. I primed them all in like I did the Vallejo metallic silver.
Yeah.
So that because it's a lot of chainmail on dwarven warriors. So and I'm gonna paint the family colors on them later. But man, I had to stop and I had to look and I'm like, oh god, dude, that's too much stuff.
It's a lot.
I think I counted it was like 128 miniatures for the army.
Yeah,
half of them are infantry.
Yeah, cool. Because there is like no cavalry for dwarves.
Dwarves don't need cavalry. We have slayers.
Yeah,
I will 1v5. Nah, I'd win.
Dude, I want because when I get the Bretonnian box, I think I'm gonna paint them up as like Knights Hospitaller in those colors.
You should just play Infinity.
Well, no, guess what? I'm playing Black Templars again in the old world.
That's fine, but do that in Infinity too. Have 3 games where you play the same thing.
Yeah, hell
Go get the military orders box.
Just
paint them like Black Templars, man.
Because I also do it in Horus Heresy.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Templar, brother.
All right,
that's my shit.
Let's close this out. It's the new year. In the new year, what is one game you either want to paint or play more of?
Old World and Heresy.
Okay. I was going to say Old World and A Song of Ice and Fire. Heresy, I'm down for whenever you want to play it, but I want to play stuff for it.
Do you have any like hobby or actually any kind of New Year's resolution?
For me, I don't want to buy as many miniatures. I kind of went a little crazy at the end of the year buying some Malifaux stuff.
Okay.
Because it's just also cheap.
Yeah.
And they also make great like D&D characters and D&D minis. So I bought I think 8 boxes of stuff. I bought 3 core boxes. I bought Ivan, Yedza, and Parker Barrows. And then I bought the Damned, which is a monster. I bought Hinamatsu, which is another monster. I bought the Dirty Operations kit for Ivan. And then I bought the Explorer Society starter. And then I bought Paid in Blood, which is an Outlaw starter. So I kind of went a little crazy. Oh, and I bought Freddy Fazbear for the Nightmare, the Neverborn. So and I bought giant steam robots for the guild. Whoops. So yeah, I bought a lot of stuff for it. And that's all stuff I'm going to use in like RPGs and everything too. But I went crazy with that. So I have a big backlog of Malifaux I need to paint up, but I'll do that over time. But I definitely want to get through my bigger armies. I want to do my entire Old World army.
Yes.
And then finish all 3 of my Song of Ice and Fire armies. And that'll be a big chunk of my backlog just kind of cleared out. But I also want to play some Song of Ice and Fire. And I know Brian does too. Brian has Lannister, so.
Yeah, so I have Lannisters and Baratheons.
Why did it take you so long?
Well, because I was about to say Stark, but
I apologize that the Baratheons are so inferior, Jack.
Yeah. They're best army. While I do own Starks, I never play them, and I don't really like them.
I have Starks. I haven't played them, but I bought them. I split the box with Brian, and I just kind of have them by proxy.
Yeah, they're good. I have them because I kickstarted the game, so like
Oh, nice.
they gave me that. I have the big throne. I have the big
Oh, that's
iron
cool.
throne.
Yeah, they give that as a tournament prize too.
Yeah, dude,
It's
that
cast in
thing's
real metal
awesome.
now. So what's your hobby resolution this year, Jack?
So hobby and just in general resolution,
I have one of each.
I'm going to hobby-wise, I'm going to finish my Heresy backlog. That I
I
need
can't even
to
fathom
do.
how huge that is.
It's not as much as you'd think. It's just
That
I have
means
a
that it's
couple.
absolutely massive, guys.
I have a couple because I have that box, what is it, the one that came with the Mark IIIs and the Land Raider and the Daredevil.
Yeah, I picked that up for my Night Lords.
Yeah, I need to finish that. Otherwise it's just painting and then I'm done with my backlog. Until I buy Assault Marines, because that kit just came out. Then that's going to be more backlog.
Bro,
to
it's
do.
like $80 for 10 Marines. Fucking bullshit.
No way, it's 80.
It's
dude.
like 76, man.
No, 60 at most. There's
Is
no
it?
way.
Let me check. I think it's like 70, man. Hold on.
Dude, no way. That's fucked up if that's the case.
Let me. We're gonna end this episode with me giving you a price quote on Assault Marines for
That'll be
Warhammer.
fucked.
Age
My other
Sigmar.
resolution is because at the start of the new year I just started doing keto. So,
Dude, I love keto. If you need any tips, let me know. I did keto for the first 2 years of me being on type 1.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, man.
So if you need any tips, just hit me up.
Yeah,
Keto is really good, and dude, you will burn through weight like nobody's business. It's just great.
Because I just
yeah, Jack, they're $70.
That's kind of fucked up.
You just get them on eBay, man, or convert them yourself.
Well, I'll just print.
Yeah, I would opt to just convert them, man. Just go print up some jump packs. But yeah, so
yeah,
keto is great, but dude, if you're gonna stay on keto for a while, you especially in the beginning. No, not even the beginning. Like first week, if you like cheat and have some bread, whatever, you're fine. But like a couple months in, do not, because if you fall off the keto bandwagon, you will regain all that weight.
Oh yeah. So I'm like I'm like 4 days into keto right now, and I feel like my body is it's about to hit the start of ketosis. I'm looking forward to it because I've been keeping pretty strict to the diet. I've thrown out pretty much every carb that is in my apartment.
You want a pro tip for like some really good low carb snacks?
What you got other than nuts, of course, because I
seaweed.
stock up on those. Seaweed, really?
Like the salted seaweed strips, bro. Those things fucking slap. Oh, they're awesome. Dude. They're so good.
Let's get it.
Yeah,
let's get it, because I just picked up some like apple cider vinegar fucking gummies, like the sugar-free ones.
You don't need to live like that, man.
Oh, dude.
Also avoid sugar-free candy entirely.
Yeah,
they'll say sugar-free, but then take a look at the carbohydrates in the back. They supplement all the sugars with different types of carbohydrates.
You gotta look for carbs. Yeah,
yep.
I don't usually eat candy to begin with. I don't really have a sweet tooth. I always prefer salty and savory over sweetness any day of the week.
Right. Yeah. So you're gonna dig the. Oh, and I know you already said nuts, but dude, absolute banger. I'm just gonna say this. This goes for anybody that's going out on like a diet or something for 2024. Doesn't feel like a real year still.
Yeah.
Blue Diamond wasabi almonds.
Hey, guess what I have in my hands right now?
Thing, dude. Some good shit. Oh, they're so good. I love them. They're great.
That's them right there.
Yep. It's like a good hearty snack, man. Really good.
Dude, they're delicious. Yeah. Oh man.
Also, don't follow keto recipes you see on YouTube because they'll be like, these are great keto diet friendly breakfast burritos.
Yeah, no.
And then they show like they don't ever show you the carb amount, but the carb amount's always through the fucking roof.
Yeah, you got to look at the back of any package.
No, I mean like the YouTuber making the recipe. They're like, look at these breakfast burritos that I made. They're 15 grams of protein and they're low in carbs. And I look and it's like 28 grams of carbs, which is like low. If you're doing keto, you want like 5.
You want like as little carbs as possible.
Yeah.
Like I've my refrigerator is filled exclusively with like steak, beef,
Careful on those red meats, man.
pork. Yeah, well, yeah, because you do need like more fattiness than you need protein. Um, but it's all about like portion size as well. um, some cheddar cheese because you need unprocessed cheese. You can't have any of that processed garbage cheese.
Yeah.
Milk is out the window unless it's like almond milk.
How do you think I feel? Everyone's always like, drink raw milk, drink raw. And it's just, bro, you can't.
Yeah, well, because it's the lactate in there, or the lactose, that's carb city.
You go to your local deli, Jack. I know you got like a City Market or King Soopers. Their local cheeses that they do there, those are pretty good for you because the way that they make the cheese kind of takes the lactate out.
Yeah, I grabbed those.
Yes.
Miso soup is good.
Miso soup is also fucking fire.
Dude,
if you get like packed to that or find a way to make it, it's just...
Have you ever had? Okay, I always make miso soup. I don't know. Have you ever had the miso soup I've made before?
Nah, bro. I've like hung out with you twice.
No, like 3 times. Dude, you're gonna have to try my miso.
I'll have to try it. I'm a fan of miso soup. I'm a miso soup fiend. There's Caroline too, though.
Do you prefer a more like savory one, or do you prefer it to be like which color miso do you prefer in it?
It's like the pale yellow is really good, kind of foggy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I prefer the red miso because that's the one that
I don't ever get red. I always do the white miso.
White miso, if I remember correctly, is like the one that's in between red and yellow. Because yellow is the sweeter one, and like the light and mild one. Red is the harder, more like.
Just be careful with red bean paste. It will give you bladder cancer if you consume it in large amounts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't. You usually only get that in shit like taiyaki or any kind of like that weird dessert shit.
Oh, I'm just saying in general, bro. I'm just gonna tell people.
Yeah.
What if we ended on that? What if we just like don't eat red bean paste or you get bladder cancer?
Yeah, don't eat red bean paste. Don't do it.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's. That's too early for that. But drop whatever you guys are going to resolve this year in the comments below. We love you. Hopefully we'll have some more episodes coming soon.